Shalom, shalom. Yeah, so we're going to begin with Deuteronomy chapter 22 because back in the ancient times there was a different concept of marriage than it is now. Now people go to Vegas and they get drunk at the Bellagio and they wake up and they got a ring on their finger. People in this time, man, you got women, they propose to men, they'll get down on one knee. That's like a new trend. Women get down, you seen that? Women getting on one knee, bowing down to the man and saying, "Will you marry me?" And the man is blushing and his mind is not right. So we have to cover how things was done in the ancient times, man. Right? Marriage in the ancient world. Right. So let's begin with Deuteronomy chapter 22. It'll cover this. Right. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 22. And we'll start at verse 1.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 1.
It'll lead up to, we'll start off with diverse laws, but it'll lead to how marriage was conducted in the ancient world.
Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray and hide thy face from it. Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother.
Right. That finders keeper spirit is not biblical. Right. Oh, I found this ox, I guess it's mine. No, whatever is law. It could be a brother's Bible. It could be his dog, his car, whatever it is. It has to go back to your brother, right? Even if that's somebody that you fell out with, your enemy according to the Bible. You got a precept? Come on. Let me get this real quick. Exodus chapter 23 and 4. Right. Let's get Exodus chapter 23 and verse 4. It reads, "If thou meet thine enemy's ox or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again." So it's not only brothers that you cool with, but it's also your enemy. Not speaking about the enemies of the other nations, but enemies of your own people. You got two different classes of enemies in the Bible: your people and your enemies, which are the heathen, the so-called white man, the so-called African man, the so-called Arab man, the Hawaiian man, and all those other strange nations. Right? So we can go on.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 2. "And if thy brother be nigh unto thee, or if thou know him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thy own house. It shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it, and thou shalt restore it to him again."
I got to hold on to it till he feel like, well, what happened to my ox? I had 99. Now I only got 98. Let me go check Amos' crib. And Amos said, "Look, brother, I've been meaning to catch up with you. Look, here be your ox," and say, "Look, the what?" Right? That's how stuff should be done, man. Sometimes now you got brothers that'll steal from you and help you look for it. They'll hold on to your stuff and act like they don't know where it's at, right? So these are the laws in the ancient world, man.
Verse 3. "In like manner shalt thou do with his ass, and so shalt thou do with his raiment,
his clothing, his cattle,
and with all lost things of thy brothers, which he have lost, and thou hast found, shalt thou do likewise. Thou mayest not hide thyself."
And that's wicked, hiding yourself, man. Our brother loses his ox, and you know where to be found. His ox is gone, and you gone. You done left Jerusalem and moved all the way to Samaria with his ox, man. And the brother looking for it, and nobody know where you at, right? You done rooted up and left, packed all your stuff with all his belongings, right? So again, that finders keeper spirit, that Jake, you find stuff. Oh man, one man's trash is another man's treasure. That's not in the Bible, right?
That goes into Exodus 20 and 15. "Thou shalt not steal." Right? Finders keepers is stealing. Right? If you feel like you don't know who it belongs to, you hold on to it until somebody inquires about it. Right? That's a righteous thing to do. Right? And that's why we had judges, because the judge will instruct the people to do such matters. Right? This is the judge right here. The law is how we instruct our lives. If somebody were to find $1 million, right? Or if somebody were to have a false report saying they lost something because they saw you pick it up, you would bring it into the elders, and the elders would determine, whose is whose, which is what, right? Righteousness.
And that's sometimes in the scriptures you'll see laws. It'll say laws, statutes, and commandments. The law Amos brought out is thou shalt not steal. Here's the statutes behind stealing, right? So the 10 Commandments will sum up everything, but now we're going into an in-depth breakdown of what may happen in terms of theft. Right? These are ordinances. Sometimes you see that word ordinances in the Bible, or statutes or commandments. Is all based off of the law what this law that we're covering right now about property and belongings of Israelites that maybe have stolen. You know.
Verse 4. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or his ox fall down by the way and hide thyself from him. Thou shalt surely help him to lift them up again.
Right, like in modern times, if Amos get a flat tire and I'm driving down 83 and I see him get a flat, I can't say, damn, Most I judged him, and I keep it moving. Right? Well, good luck, Amos. No, you got to pull over, right, and help him out, man. Right? A brother climbing up something, trying to get something done, and he about to fall. And you say, man, hey, brother, hey, watch yourself. No, brother, go hold the ladder and help the brother. All right? So whatever your brother dealing with, the Lord tells us to love one another. Right? Let me get this real quick precept in Matthew chapter 7 and 12. Right? Matthew chapter, and Jake don't keep these commandments now, man. Right? None of these laws are being kept amongst our people. Right? This St. Matthew, quick precept on that, chapter 7 and verse 12. Right? St. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 12. This links up with, how we're supposed to deal with one another as a nation. It reads, therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. So the law, all 613 laws, all of the prophecies that pertain to Israel is summed up in that one thing, right? Do unto others as you want them to do to you, right? Thou shalt not commit adultery. I'm not going to take Amos' wife or this brother's wife because I want that done to me. I'm not going to steal his ox. I want that done to me. That's all of the laws. It's all the commandments. Even bringing offerings to the Most High, a sacrifice. You should want a brother to sacrifice and do things for you, man.
This is Galatians chapter 6 and verse 2. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Yahweh Shai. Right? So like the brother said, if I'm driving down the highway, I see Naquan with a flat tire, or he ran out of gas, his burden is now my burden. Right? Because what my brother is going through, I'm going through. The scriptures say, am I my brother's keeper? In all aspects of life, yes, you are your brother's keeper. Right? You got to put yourself in that position. And that goes into inequity as well. What if you are that elect that's still sinning and holding back your people from getting the kingdom? Right? You got to think about it in that aspect. All burdens must be lifted on each other's shoulders. Right? So it's not you go through it alone. Well, shoot, you made your bed, you got to sleep in it. Nah, bro, we're going to help you make your bed. One brother, the next brother, the next brother, the next brother.
And the nations do that, man. That's why these nations be having communities. You see, the damn Chinatown is not an accident. They came together. Right. So we're going to get this land. We're going to here's the borders. We're going to get this store. Look, you're going to have the store for the fish. I'm going to have the store for hardware. You're going to have the store for this. And they came, all of the nations come together except Israel, man. So we got a lot of work to do as a people. So like the brother was saying.
And all these commandments is nothing but brotherly love. Everything in here is brotherly love. It goes to finance, it goes to uncleanness, it goes to helping your brother. Everything is brotherly love listed in these commandments.
So we're back in Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5.
Now we're switching up a little bit. Now it's dealing with apparel, right? And other laws.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
Right, that's plain. Women can't wear a woman's apparel. Men can't wear women's apparel dresses. You got these rappers, A$AP Rocky, Kanye West, who else? Prince. Prince was androgynous, man. Prince out there with a dress on and lipstick coming out the bathtub. That's off, man. You got women. They got a store up there in Greenmount called Tomboy for women that could wear clothing for men. To go up there, see what kind of pants they like, what kind of jeans they want. That's confusion. That tranny spirit. Let me get 1 Corinthians chapter 14. Right? Where the Most High said he's not the author of confusion. Right? 1 Corinthians chapter 14. And let's go to verse 33. It reads, for the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of his saints. And what if we was all up here with dresses on, man? That'd be madness. Right? See that?
That's the Isley brothers, man.
All them brothers was off the earth. You look at them Earth, Wind, and Fire, old pictures, man. You know,
back in the 70s and 80s, man, they was on some different. That androgynous spirit was heavy.
Yeah, Prince talking about maybe I'm just like my mother, right? Let me get this. We'll pull up that definition. This is an androgynous. Let's see, androgynous. I spelled it all wrong. All right, it says androgynous, and you can look this up on your own. Partly male and partly female, in appearance of indeterminate sex. And here's the definition. This would Esau. Look at his definition. A stunningly androgynous dancer. See that? Stunningly. See, Esau, he get off on that thing, man. That's his thing, you know.
So like, and the new thing is, women want a man that's in touch with his feminine side. They said, right. No man should have a feminine side at all, right? That's a just balance. Let me get this.
Yeah, your woman is your feminine side, right? Or that's your feminine person you with, man. You know, man, you don't have no. It's okay. Let him do makeup. You're insecure. They'll say that, man. My man let me put makeup and let him do his nails. He's in touch with his feminine side. He's secure. And the Lord not dealing with that, man. You know, and a lot of jakes, they say, well, look, that's what the women want. Then I guess I'll do that. I want them to know that I'm in touch with my feminine side. It's off.
Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Right? So you can't have 75% feminine and 25% masculine. No, that's why the man is there and the woman is there. The Most High set it up to be a perfect balance. Right? You don't put 100 pounds on one side of the seesaw and 20 pounds and think they're going to measure each other out. Right? You got to have a dominant force in the house. You got a woman that's soft and delicate in the house. That's a perfect balance in the eyes of the Lord. Right? No two masculine men in the house. No two feminine women in the house. That don't add up.
I'm pulling this up. You got it.
Come.
I'm gonna look this up real quick. Yeah, like the brother was saying, you don't have all of these different. I'm gonna pull this up. There's a list of various sexual orientations. Right now, we know what is in Genesis chapter 5 and 3 in the beginning that the Most High made male and female. Right now, this with the so-called white man. Right, I'm just pulling up for those watching on the live. Right, but we're gonna pull it up too. Right, it says 46 terms that describe sexual attraction, behavior, and orientation. Right, and they saying, why does it matter? Well, you know, it don't matter, man. You got male and you got female. Right now, they got terms A to C. They have allosexuals, which are you gotta. It says a word and category describing those who experience sexual attraction. So they don't know what's going on. You have allosexism, you have androsexual, you have men that's asexual. You know, I had this roommate in college who told me he was a pansexual. You know, meaning he doesn't have any desire to total. I say that, man. Scar. So I'm sexual. I'm gonna say, but just say it's either one or the other, man. You know, autosexual. Autosexual is somebody who's sexually attracted to themselves. You see that? See that? You gotta watch out for them brothers, man. Getting off on themselves. Autoromantic. They're romantically attracted to themselves. Bi-curious, bisexual, biromantic, closeted, coming out. Coming out is not this is stuff, you know, the so-called white man got going on. A cupiosexual. Right? They're an asexual people who don't experience sexual attraction, but they have the desire to engage in it. So sounds like hitting lust, man. Now they got a demisexual, demi-romantic, fluid, gay, gray sexual, gray romantic, giant sexual, heterosexual, homosexual, and the list goes on and on. Right? We can go, you know, they got monosexual, you know, they have non-libidoist, asexual. Oh, here you have pansexual, a person who can experience sexual or emotion regardless of male or female. So pretty much you're homosexual. And the list goes on and on and on.
Polysexual.
What was that? Polysexual. You like your body, you're into everything. All right. You have something called ecosexual, people that deal with the earth. You robosexuals, sapiosexuals, sex favorable, right? But this is what the so-called white man got going on.
Salaki, they had a movie a couple years ago that came out. It was called 40 Shades of Grey, right? And everybody was talking about it. It was just a book about a woman who liked to be tortured during sex.
Right.
And they tried to push that on our people. Everybody reading it, saying it's the best book they ever read.
Right. So this what comes when you drink of the wine of Babylon the Great, right? When you're stuck in this society and you get seduced. The Lord said in Proverbs 12:26, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them, man. So our people got seduced, man. Right?
This Romans 1:26. For this cause, Yahweh gave them up unto vile affections. Right? Those 46 terms that they just listed on that website, those are vile affections. Right? The Most High didn't say get freaky and get freaked out in Babylon.
Right?
He said, man join with woman, right? And do things how he commanded it to be done. He didn't say love the earth, love the robots, right? Fall in love with yourself and want to do freaky things to yourself. That's wicked. That's weird, man. So the Lord gave them over to vile affection, for even the woman did change their natural use into that which is against nature, right? All these things are against nature, right? Because you got to have a male and a woman to reproduce. Anything outside of that is against you. You pretty much a coon, and you hate your people, right? Lesbianism, homosexuality, that's against your people. Right. You don't want to see your people prosper because you're not procreating and setting forth the example to the next generation through your seed, right?
It's straight to the point. This St. Mark chapter 10 and 6, right? In the New Testament. In the book of Mark, the 10th chapter, I'm going to read verses 6 and 7. It reads, but from the beginning of the creation, the Most High made them male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore the Most High has joined together, let not man put asunder. And the so-called white man is putting asunder, meaning causing separation. He's putting that asunder by saying you have 46 more sexual orientations that you can dabble into. And in these schools, man, they got trannies teaching the kids it's okay to be a tranny, man. At one school they had a transsexual that went up there. He was stripping for the people, for the kids, and the kids they clapping their hands and the parents smiling, and that's what goes on in this society. You seen that, brother? Yeah, that was madness, man. Right? So the Lord not dealing with yet people want to save this place, man. Right? So back to the point that woman can't wear what belongs to a man, and a man can't wear no pencil skirt, fitted, you got a fitted cap on and a sundress on. All right. So let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 22.
If a bird's nest,
this verse 6.
Verse 6. If a bird's nest chance to be before thee in the way in any tree or the ground, whether they be young ones or eggs, and the dame sitteth upon the young and upon the eggs, thou shalt not take the dame with the young. Right, man. You can't take the mother and the eggs too. Why would you take the mother and the eggs? Then you're gonna say, well, you're gonna go back and look for more eggs. Well, brother, you took the source. You took the mother and the eggs. Take the eggs, don't take the mother, so the mother can produce more eggs. Right? That's common sense. You don't cut down the tree just to take the fruit. Right? That wouldn't make sense. Right? So the Lord not dealing with men that don't have wisdom, But thou shalt in any wise let the dame go and take the young to thee, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days. Right? When thou buildest a new house, then thou shalt make a battlement for the roof, that thou bring not blood upon thy house, if any man fall from thence. Right, meaning you have to have a gate or bar, like a balcony. If you didn't have a railing on your balcony, right? In the ancient times, hey, look, that's a penalty, man. And if somebody slipped up, you gonna get put to death.
because they're gonna go. A man gonna fall on a feast day. Let's say it's the feast of Pentecost or whatever, and they at your house, you know, and they're on your roof, but there's no railing around your roof, and the brother drinking and he slip up and fall. You can say, well, the brother was drunk, you know, he drank too much, he kind of fell to his own death. Now they're going to say, well, look, brother, look, you didn't have any battlements up there, right? And then you're going to get put to death for that. So you're supposed to have security and look out for your brother and be your brother's keeper, man. You know, anything can happen up there.
Verse 9, thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds, lest the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled.
Right. No, we went into that before. No mixing apple seeds. You got I had this fruit called a plum cot. A plum cot is an apricot and a plum mixed together. Now I didn't know. I looked at the stick. I said, why is this plum so big? Why does it taste like this? Well, they mix the seeds. You have hybrid fruit, right? Tangélopes and all types of stuff, man. You know, you can't mix diverse seeds. All right. That goes into Esau even dealing with he's trying to mix man and monkey and these laboratories and mix pig and woman and see what type of creation he could come up with, man. That Dr. Frankenstein spirit. All right. You said what?
Like
right. Exactly. Yeah, like a liger or they have zorses, which is a zebra horse, a zonkey. You know, they have all types of things. I seen something called a golar bear, which is a polar bear and a grizzly bear. And it took this polar bear from his natural habitation, put him in a laboratory. He's sitting there burning up hot. The grizzly bear burning in his lust, and Esau watching that, getting off on that, man. Seeing what's it gonna come out with? Waiting about whatever, however long the pregnancy period is to see what could come out, man. You know.
So like Jake in the world, they get off on stuff like that too. With the weed, right? They want the hybrid weed without seeds and stems, getting grown in a laboratory, right? Stuff like that. Nothing like that is good for you. Right. You get fruit with no seeds, right? The purpose of having fruit is to bear more seeds, so you can plant more trees, so you can have way more fruit. Right?
You're gonna precept this Genesis chapter 1 and 11, right? To link up what Amos was saying, all fruits are supposed to have seeds, like he said. And the Most High said, let the earth bring forth grass, and the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And the Most High saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the third day.
So GMO is a sin.
Right.
GMO is a sin, right? Because this is the book of the law, and the Lord said every herb bearing fruit you should have for yourself, right? But the scriptures do say we're going to eat our bread, defiled bread among the Gentiles, so we subject to whatever wickedness Esau does. But if all possibility, we'll get it. In all possibility, avoid GMO. Go to farmers markets, right? Go to Moms, Whole Foods.
When they say that
it's organic, it's still GMO, right? It's still GMO.
Why would they even tell you it's organic?
For the money.
It's supposed to be organic.
Right, for the money, but
right.
Does that mean like drinks that are like apple cranberry stuff like that? That's
that's sluggy, brother. I wouldn't say that that's a sin, right? Because you may take an apple, right, and then blend it up from its proper, then the orange from its proper thing, then you may make the drink out of it.
How about tilapia?
Tilapia. That's that every man got to be fully persuaded in his own mind. Certain men say, look, tilapia is made in the laboratory. Other brothers say, I need more proof on that. So that's a constant debate. If you eat tilapia, it's not like you're gonna be okay. Yeah, certain brothers don't eat it. Certain brothers eat. So it all depends, man, on your spirit. Quick precept: Ezekiel chapter 4 and 13. Right, Ezekiel chapter 4 and 13. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. Like the brother went into, it was prophesied that we wouldn't be able to eat the foods that we used to eat. Hey, all we eat now is fried chicken and fried fish. Back in the ancient times, you had bullocks, you had ram, you had goat. You know, I had some curry goat the other day, man, from this Benjamin spot. Better than fried chicken, right? Better than all of the foods that you can get here, man. Right? Brother know about that, man. That curry goat, man. Lamb, that was our constant thing, man. You know, Jake, you get a 3-piece and you think you got it going on, man. With a half and half and some fries, man. Right? And you brothers from PG that like that mumbo sauce, man. You know, this another quick precept. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 9 and 3. All right, let's get another precept on us eating this defiled food. Come. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 9 and 3. And it reads, they shall not dwell in the Lord's land, but Ephraim shall return to Egypt, and they shall eat unclean things in Assyria. Now, Egypt and Assyria are parabolic terms for places of captivity for the Israelites. Not that it's specifically this place in Egypt, North Africa, or Assyria out there in Mesopotamia, but the lands of captivity where our people would be in. It was prophesied that we would eat unclean things. You got to read the back of these packages and labels, dextrose and monosaccharidose and polysaccharides and red 1 and yellow 3. And you're like, damn, I don't even want to eat it. In the kingdom, you're not going to have to worry about reading labels, man. You're not going to have processed food in the kingdom of heaven. Everything's going to come up out of the earth as it is, you know?
This is for those who shop and buy their fruit, right? This is the codes so you know how to buy your food properly, right? The 4 numbers beginning with 3 or 4, it says if your fruit or vegetable was made with conventional farming techniques, then you find a 4-digit code that starts with 3 or 4. So meaning it was a large produce. They probably used a machine and got a large variety of it. 5 numbers beginning with 8 is genetically modified foods. So if you go to the store and pick up a lemon and it has an 8 on it, it's a genetically modified lemon. It probably tastes like an apple or something, no seeds. 5 numbers beginning with the 9 means that it was produced organically, right? So no pesticides or things of those natures. So just a little bit of information for those who do buy produce and fruit.
So all these laws are perfect, man. Go ahead.
So and it's a produce shortage going on. Yeah, right. You go to the store, you're not gonna see all the fruit that used to be there, right? Even with the bag lettuce is starting to show up real short. So that famine is coming soon.
So we're back in it. Deuteronomy 20. Oh, I had a precept on that. Deuteronomy 22 and 9 again. It says, thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds. Let the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown, and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled. So that's physical, but that's also on a spiritual level too. Because when you're out there teaching, you're sowing a seed. Right? Let me get that in the book of Mark. Right? So these laws, you can break them down on the physical level, dealing with agriculture and produce like we're going into, but it's also on a spiritual level. When you begin to go into the laws and look at these things, now you can look at it on a spiritual level when you go through the precepts. Right? This is the book of St. Mark, chapter 4, and I'll read verse 14. Actually, I'll read 4 and 14 to get an understanding of it. All right, St. Mark chapter 4 and 14. The sower soweth the word. Right? So the sower are the brothers that go out there and teach. And what do we sow? The seed, which is the knowledge of the Most High. It has to be planted within your mind, which is the soil. All right. Now, if you out there sowing, can you sow this truth and you try to teach Islam? You open up the book of Genesis, then you say, hold on, brother, I'm going to kind of mix that with the Quran. That's sowing diverse seeds in the vineyard. The vineyard is the nation of Israel. All right, let me get that precept real quick in Isaiah chapter 5 and 7. Right, the vineyard is the nation of Israel, and we're his pleasant plant. And in order to produce the righteous fruit, it has to be pure, undefiled, the word of the Most High, not tainted by doctrine, not tainted by other philosophies, but it has to be pure, unadulterated truth. Isaiah chapter 5 and 7. right? Because the law says that you can't sow these diverse seeds in your vineyard, right? Isaiah chapter 5 and 7. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold oppression, for righteousness, but behold a cry. So you see how the Most High called us his vineyard. So we out there teaching the people, going through the precepts, we have to sow that word, right? Which is the knowledge of the Most High. All right. That's what the Most High is saying, even on a spiritual level, you know. And then another seed, let me, you got a precept?
Okay.
Come on.
This is Sirach, chapter 26, in verse 20. When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with thy own seed, trusting in the goodness of thy stock. So thy race, which thou leavest, shall be magnified, having the confidence of their good descent. Right? So when you find a woman, right, of your own nation, right, that goes into Tobit 4 and 12, right, all our forefathers took wives of the same lineage as us, right? You sow that with your own seed. You make more children, right? So that you can have a good descent coming after that, right? So you know that the children being left behind, right, to Israel, right, they're going to be raised up like how Israel should be raised up. Not speaking Chinese or eating rats, cats, and dogs.
Speaking Chinese and eating rats, cats, and dogs would be bad fruit, right, from the seed that you planted, which is unprofitable, you know. I want to make that quick point. This links up with that, right? Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 13. Right? Matthew chapter 13 and 31. Right? Like we're going into, these things are double. Certain prophecies, certain breakdowns, even laws are double and twofold. All right, this is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 13 and 31. And it reads, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field. Now the man is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, right? The field is the world, right? Let's jump up to verse 37. Let's get the explanation of verse 31, right? Matthew chapter 13 and 37. He answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. So Yahushua, he plants seeds too. So you don't think Yahushua is keeping the law and Deuteronomy 22 and 9? Yes, he's going to keep the law. He's the word of the Most High. So if the Lord is planting the seed, he's not going to mix up this seed with anything else, right? And let's see what the seed is. Verse 38. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. So when the Lord puts the nation of Israel on the earth, the elect, he's going to put us in our own righteousness. He's not going to mix the Edomites amongst us. You're not going to have Moabites amongst us. You're not going to mix these diverse seeds in the vineyard. And Yahushua is the top husbandman of all time, man. So you're going to make sure that these things are planted. He's giving them light, which is the law, the living water, to make this seed abound to this mustard seed, this insignificant people, to a great kingdom, man. You know?
This Luke chapter 9. I'm going to start at verse 60. No. I'm going to start at 57. And it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto the Lord, I will follow thee wheresoever thou goest. And Yahushua said unto him, fox have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have not where to lay his head. But he said to another man, follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. And Yahushua said unto him, let the dead bury the dead, but go down and preach the kingdom of your house. Right? Go plant seeds to the Israelites who have ears to hear. Right? Go be watchmen amongst the city. Verse 61. And another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me go, bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. And Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand towards the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh. Right? When you take the plow, go into the vineyard, you go into the field. The plow is to till the land. right? So now you're planting seeds. But if you put your hand forth to going and doing this work, and you looking back in the world, you worrying about what's happening to your whatever you got that's precious to you, you're not fit for the kingdom, right? So those brothers who are out doing the work, who felt like the world and the cares of the world were more important than the kingdom, the Lord said you're not fit for the kingdom. So that's a gut check to the brothers, man. If you out on the highways and byways, stay out on the highways and byways. Pray the Lord don't take that spirit from you. Because if you take it from you, you're not fit for the kingdom. Thus said Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
That's right. That's right. This 2 Timothy chapter 2, and I'll read I'll start at 4. Right, to link up what Amos is going to. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and 4. It reads, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. So in this truth, you can't get caught up in the ways of this world. You can't get caught up, dealing with your old woman, right, of the world that you used to talk to when you was 22, 23. You're getting caught up in your so-called job. You're getting caught up with the ways of this life, man. When you entangle yourself, you get yourself trapped up. Right, man, we got a job, we're on a path. Our path is to Yahweh Shah, right? That's the way, right? And if you hinder yourself by entangling yourself with the affairs of this life, right? It reads, verse 5, and if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned except he strive lawfully. The husbandman that laboreth must be first partaker of the fruits. So we're a husbandman. Like the brother said, we're laboring, right? So I think brothers out there in the wintertime, right? 10 degrees, breaking up the ground. Summertime, right? Spring, fall, right? All year round. Back hurt, knees hurt, because you're a husbandman. You labor. And any great gardener, he's going to be out there in the elements to make sure that his fruit that's coming up is prosperous in his hand, man. So we can go back to Deuteronomy.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 22
and 10.
Yeah, got it. Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 10. Thou shalt not plow with an axe and an ass together.
Right. Why did the Lord say you can't plow with an ox and an ass together? You gotta speak up, brother. You kind of mixing them. I mean, what would that do?
Like a relationship?
Not necessarily. Yeah, one of them stronger than the other. So it'll cause confusion. On the vineyard, the seeds, you got one going this way, one going this power, one's a little bit stronger. So you're not going to put two of your front tires with 24-inch rims and the back with damn 12, man. That's madness, man. You go over the speed bump and your car break down, and you can't do that. All right? You have to be like a well-tuned machine when you're out there laboring and doing the work, man. All right? Plowing with an ox and the ass together, you got Edomites breathing for you. You got Moabites holding post. You got the Ammonites sitting there holding the sign, and Amos going through the prophecies. All right? You can't do that, man.
Verse 11. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of woolen and linen together.
And that's kind of hard to keep in captivity, but if you can keep that, do it. All right, your garment, that means if you sew in a garment and you start with silk, right, you're doing a cross stitch and you getting into it, you can't say, hold on, let me change the thread out and I want to put wool in there. And now you start dealing with wool. So now your garment stitching is wool and linen together, right? That's confusion, right? Even on a spiritual level, your garments is this knowledge, this truth. So you can't start your garment with the knowledge of the Most High, put on a garment of Islam or put on a garment of damn Christianity, right? The Lord is not with that mismatch. Back when you was a kid, they had that mismatch day, in school. You could just wear, green pants and whatever, polka dot hat, right? The Lord is not with that mismatch spirit, man. Right? Everything has to be matching. You got to dress accordingly. There's a dress code in this thing on a spiritual level.
Verse 12. Thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture, wherewithin thou coverest thyself.
Right, meaning fringes, right? Not certain brothers, they'll say, well, brother, look, you have to have the string. You only got to wear the zits, no fringes. We, brother, 4 quarters mean all around, right? Is a 4 quarters 100%? right? That's $1, 25, 25, 25, 25. That's all around. All right, so 4/4 just mean completely around your whole garment. All right, if you have this, that's fine, but make sure you got your fringes too. All right,
Just to show you that. This Deuteronomy. Never mind. We keep going.
all right, come.
Verse 13.
So now we dealing with laws about sexual conduct, marriage, betrothals, and things of that nature.
If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, and give occasion of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid.
Right now, what this is saying in the ancient world, if I have a daughter and I give my daughter to this brother right here, right? And the brother, he marries my daughter, and he said, oh, he has a son, and his son marries my daughter. And let's say they lie down together. And he said, well, look, you gave me this woman. I was expecting her to be a virgin, right? But now I laid down when I found out she wasn't a virgin. Now he's going to be mad because he's expecting, I can't sell him a car. Let's say it has 10,000 miles on it, but it has 200,000 miles on it. He's not getting what it's worth. And he's paying for something, and he's expecting what he's paying for it to have that value, right? So virgins in the ancient times were highly esteemed. Majority, about 100% of the times when men married women, they were virgins, all right, when they laid down with a wife. Now, if you laid down with a wife and she wasn't a virgin, and the father told you she was a virgin, you're going to get cussed out, and he's going to be mad about it. He's going to say, look, hey, I'm not dealing with this woman, man. You sold me this car, man, and a Carfax is not adding up, So back in the ancient times, men went to the fathers to get the approval of the marriage, right? You didn't go and run game and sneak around and you throwing rocks at the window and she opened up the window and you got the speaker, you playing Boys to Men, and she tied the sheet around the bed and climbed down and y'all have a night at damn Kissing's Hill, man. On the TV show they got that hill with the makeout hill, right. and then he dropped you back off. You have to talk to the father, man. It's like a quick precept on that about our women being virgins. Rebecca, let me get about Rebecca real quick in Genesis chapter 24. Right, when Abraham dealt with Sarah, when Isaac dealt with Rebecca, Jacob dealt with Rachel and Leah. They didn't know any men prior to dealing with these men. Even Lot's daughters. Lot said, I have 2 daughters that have never known a man. And it says that they had husbands, meaning they was betrothed to these men, right? So-called fiance. Genesis chapter 24, right? And verse, we go on 16. Yeah, this is Genesis chapter 24 and 16. This is a description of Rebecca. It reads, and the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin, neither had any man known her. And she went down to the well and filled her pitcher and came up. So it says she was a virgin, meaning she was a young unmarried woman, now that any man known her too. Because sometimes a virgin doesn't always mean a woman that never had sex with a man. Sometimes a virgin just means a young woman of marriageable age, right? But right now, what we're focusing on is the woman that has never laid down with a man. All right. So we can go back to that and Deuteronomy, unless you have something. All right. And again, let me get another precept. Let me go to Genesis 29. And let's go to Genesis chapter 29. And 14. Now, again, in the ancient times, you had a dowry too, meaning you had to pay for your wife, right? Jake kind of do that now. You got to pay. You got to take out to eat. You got to take it to the movies. It's kind of like that now, but it's not how it's done in the ancient world. You got to buy her meal. It's pretty much the same thing. But in the ancient times, you had to pay money to the father. Right? If this brother wants to marry my daughter, he got to come up. We got to pay me, man. Now, why do I need the money? The brothers know, why do I have to get paid? Shouldn't I just give him my wife my daughter because they're in love? Why do I have to be compensated for my daughter going to this man? Anybody know?
Show it sincerity. Show it sincerity.
All right, sincerity, right? You said what? In a sense, but now remember, in the ancient times, women they did work, right? They had women work. Women, they went to the well, right? Like Jethro's daughters or Rebecca, they was at the well. They took care of cattle. Proverbs 31, they was buying field. They was doing all of these things. So now I'm losing. That's like me losing one of my business, like losing a key component to my business. So if I'm losing one of my workers, I have to be compensated so I can hire a servant to make up for the work that she is doing. Not only that, that's kind of insurance too. In case they don't fall out, I got a little bit of money to take care of her in case they fall out, right? So that money is like insurance, but it's also like a used as a loan so I can hire somebody to replace the work that this daughter was doing. You know, that's the purpose of the dowry. Now that dowry, it could have been actual shekels of silver, right? It could have, when you read in 1 Samuel, Saul told David, I need a dowry for you to marry my daughter. He asked him for what? 100 shekel, 100 foreskins of the Philistines. So Saul didn't want no money. Saul wanted blood to kind of get David put to death. Well, what I'm about to read about in Genesis is the dowry that Laban gave Jacob. When Jacob had to marry Rachel and Leah, he had a dowry he had to pay too, which was servitude. Right? Let me read that real quick in Genesis chapter 29 and 14. Right? Genesis chapter, and the brothers in the truth, you know, I know there's a lot of marriages going on. Hey, brothers should reinforce the dowry again, huh? You know,
You need to.
yeah, that's the law. You got to get back into that, man. If you've been in this truth, you know, we've been in captivity, and your daughter is about to marry a brother in the truth. Hey, that brother, he should come up with a dowry. You got to talk to you and come up with some form of agreement. Y'all sit down. You say, well, look, you know, I got this, or you know, I'll do this, or you know, here go this, right? And you say, well, look, I don't want that. He has to come up with something better, man, because this is your daughter, man.
So like in righteousness, man. I need $2 million for my daughter.
Yeah, don't be a Saul.
Yeah.
That's what Saul did,
Right.
man. Right? This or a Laban, man. You got to work 20 years. You know? This Genesis chapter 29, and I'll start at 14. Right? Genesis chapter 29 to 14. And Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. Right? That was his uncle. And he said, look, you can live with me. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? Right? I mean, look, if you're going to work for me, you my family, look, I'm going to put something in your pocket. That's what he said. And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for a rate. So you have to work 7 years, man. Right? Now can the brother say, well, that's wicked, Jacob should have said? No, that's how things was done, man. Right? And that goes back to the law too. You had 6 years of work and a year of release too. But Jacob said, look, I'm gonna work 7 years for your daughter. All right, that was the dowry back then. I'm gonna pull this up out of the Bible dictionary. All right, now this from the Zondervan. Let's see if they got this word dowry in here we can dive into. All right. And certain nations still do that. Like if you go to Afghanistan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, they still get down with this dowry concept. All right. So here's the definition of dowry, right? This is out the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 135. Right? Dowry, the price paid by the suitor to the parents of the prospective bride, also the portion which the bride brought to her husband. You see that? So that's the price right there. The dowry is what you would pay for your woman, man. Right? How many men can say, look, they went to the father, to the father, paid the dowry, and that's how you got your wife now? Jake, you ran into her, right? You might have seen her, you know, at the bus stop, or you might have said, hey, yo, you in a yellow hoodie. And she said, hey, who, me? You know, you kind of ran up and said, I'm trying, you know, you said what you had to say. She said what she had to say. You gave her the number. You might have went out to eat and you might have paid for the meal. But things went, you seen Love Jones, right? You seen Love Jones, man. I just want to come up and talk spirit, you know? That's how these things go down now. But we got to get back into these righteous acts, man. All right. So we back at it.
Okay.
Oh wait, I think I had another one. All right, let's go to no, we don't have to go into it. I talked about it, about Saul. Saul's bride price was 100 shekels of the Philistines. That's 1 Samuel, the 18th chapter. All right, so we back at it.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 22.
We can read 14 again, Bible to show.
And 14. And give occasion to speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her. And say, I took this woman. When I came to her, I found her not a maid.
Meaning, look, you gave me this woman. I was expecting her to be a virgin. She wasn't.
Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elder of the city and the gates.
Right. The token is a sign. Right. The tokens of her virginity is the proof that she was a virgin. Right. Which is the blood that's going to be on the sheets. If you lay down with a virgin, then you're going to see blood. All right. Now, the parents will hold on to that. Why would they hold on to that? That's like insurance, right? That's the insurance in case a man may say, well, look, you gave me this woman. She wasn't a virgin, right? He may say that after like 3 months, you know, because maybe she can't cook right, or maybe he want to be wicked, right? And he's going to try to come up with an excuse to get his money back and bring up an evil name on his household. And they're going to say, hold on now. She was a virgin. Right? They're going to go to the elders. They're going to take out the sheets with the blood on it and say, well, whose blood is this? Now he's not going to have no answers. He got to deal with it. You know? So that's what's going on right here. Those are the tokens of virginity. What you got, brother?
That's a similar thing that happened in Mary and Joshua.
Yeah.
Yahweh was born.
Mary and Joseph.
Yeah, Mary and Joseph, I should say.
And their marriage wasn't really done the right way. It wasn't done, what he's saying, it wasn't done in the proper manner. All right.
This Matthew chapter 1 and verse 18. Now the birth of Yahweh Shah Mashiach was on this wise, when as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Ghost. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privately. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Ghost. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahweh Shah, for he shall save his people from their sins. Now all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted is God with us.
Right. And when it says a virgin, we know Mary wasn't. Mary was a young woman of marriageable age. There's no virgin birth in the scriptures. All right. Meaning she never laid down with a man, then an angel came and had sex with her, and now she gave birth to the Lord. Right. So the Lord has an angelic father, right? Or the Holy Spirit is his father. Right.
Basically, then virgin was like when they start to see their beard. Basically.
Well, that's when in the ancient times when you can be able to produce children. Yeah, when you laid down with a man, right, and there was blood on the sheets and there was tokens of the virginity, that's what determined you being a virgin or not, right? And that was again in the ancient world that was highly esteemed. You got these women now, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, right? And they boast about, you know, how many men they laid down with, right? You know, women have competitions now. Hot girl, we know Hot Girl Summer, right? Where they said, look, hey, you want to lay down with 10 men at spring break? Hey, a lot of these women go to spring break, man. You know, and they come back and they dealt with 10 men.
They got spring babies.
Yeah, they got spring babies.
Right.
Don't let your women go to spring break. I just want to get away. Right? Okay, baby, go ahead. Yeah, it's a sister's trip. It's like you seen one of the brothers seen this movie, Girls Trip, man. You know? Don't let your women go to girls' trip, man, down in New Orleans, Mardi Gras.
I used to work with a brother back in the day. He said his girl was about to go to Florida. I forgot, Tampa Bay or Palm Beach, one of the Florida beaches. He said his girl was packing, her bag fell over and condoms fell out.
See that?
He said all he could do was just stare at it.
See that?
You know.
And I'm not gonna say what happened, but she probably said, I got these for you. You know, and I seen this movie on I mean not this movie, man, but hey, it's this clip. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. I was gonna do a cold cut on it, but now this is hold on. I'm gonna have to pull it up on the I don't know if I can show that. No, I ain't gonna show it. Right? But this man, you seen this? Right? This man, he called his woman. Oh, that's the audio. He kind of, I may pull it up, I may not, we'll see. Right? He caught his woman with another man. You know? I'm not gonna show it on the screen. Right? It's not the best thing to show, but we may show brothers. This might kind of knock at the door, man. Right? Let me see if I can pull this up. See, the dude knocked at the door. He said, open the door. So she said, I was trying to surprise you. She had some lingerie on. She was dancing for another dude. Another dude came and knocked on the door and said, why you got this lingerie on? She said, I'm here to surprise you. I was trying to get sexy for you. You know? So that ain't right, man. That ain't right. And she started yelling at him, man. Yeah, flipping the script, man. Yeah, you had the salt. Y'all seen the Salt Bay? Like your brother went into, man. You had this woman that was dancing for the. There's a man on social media famous for putting salt. You know what I'm talking about, brother? He throw the salt in slow motion
like this.
Yeah. I see. And you had this woman that was kind of, you know, doing some dances for him, huh? Then the husband came in and said, well, what are you doing? And she kind of got caught out there. Right? Let me see if I can find it. Right? And this is madness, man.
No, it was another angle. He was going to somebody else.
He was what?
He was for somebody else. She just saw him coming.
What you mean?
He came in there for somebody else on the other side.
Oh, yeah, so that wasn't her dude.
No, it wasn't her.
All right, but all right, well, I ain't gonna say it was, but this, you know, but this what it was, right? Let me see. Well, I'm not gonna pull it up. You can look it up on your own. You can look it up on your own, right? Certain things, you know, you got to kind of dig into this yourself, man. You know, so it's madness, man. See that? Now. All right.
They said his homeboy was out with his girl in the comments.
You see that? That's still bad, man. Right? So, you know, we can go on, man. So we got a lot of work to do, man. Our people, man, are gone. Now we back in Deuteronomy 22:16, kind of 16.
And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter to this man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he have given occasion of speech against her, saying, I found her not thy daughter a maid. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city.
Right, they'll say, look, you're lying, man. I have to prove that she was a virgin. Right? Because this thing could be bad for this man. For this man, if it's found out that he gave this daughter to this man, lying that she was a virgin, look, this man's name is completely tarnished. Nobody's going to want to deal with his daughters anymore. He may not come to the feast day. He may have to leave. He may be from Jerusalem. He may have to go to the land of Reuben, man, and be a stranger or a sojourner, you know? So you got to kind of know what you're getting yourself into. If you did this, you have to make sure that this was done the right way.
And the elders of thy city shall take that man and chastise him.
And they're gonna cuss him out and say, why would you do this? You know?
And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up an evil name upon the virgin of Israel, and she shall be his wife, and he may not put her away all his days.
See that? So now he got to pay 100 shekels of silver. Now the original price is usually 50 shekels of silver, but this man, he got to pay 100 shekels of silver to the father, right? That's what you got now. They got pain and suffering, right? Pain and suffering is like, look, or they have certain terminology. If they what is it? Defamation of character, right? People get paid off of that, man. Defamation of character or pain and suffering. When you put somebody through emotional and mental trauma, sometimes if you take them to court, they got to pay for that, man. So 50 shekels of silver is a price for the bride, but he got to come up with extra dough simply for the fact of putting this bad name on this man, you know? And this is a big thing. Everybody's watching this. Remember, they're at the gates. The gates where everybody's at, right? This is like center stage, and the spotlight is on this situation. Everybody left their home. You know, people's out there dealing with the cattle. They said, look, it's going down at the gates. Everybody left, women running with their hair wraps. Men, they want to see what's going on, right? Because somebody might get stoned. You have to read that. Or somebody might get kind of beat up, right? They might have saw a woman spit in the dude face at the gate. They might have saw a marriage. Everything goes down at the gates, right?
Throw money at people's feet.
Yeah, throwing money at people's feet, man. It's a lot of things that go down at the gates of our nation, you know? That's why the Lord said, and let me get this quick precept.
That's where all the elders dwell. So there was always wisdom amongst the gates. Right now, like if you go to the harbor, you're not going to see a whole bunch of people on bikes, right? People twerking, right? Man or woman, right? You're going to have wisdom at the harbor because the elders will all be sitting there. That's hundreds on top of hundreds on top of thousands of years, right, of wisdom just poured upon you.
This is Proverbs chapter 24 and 7. Proverbs 24 and 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate. So why couldn't he come to the gate? Because look, hey, this was a high level of knowledge going on at the gate, right? So you couldn't just walk past the gates and they dropping parables, he's speaking in riddles and dark sayings. If you came up there, you had to kind of be quiet. A wise man, he'll hear that, he'll kind of add to it. But a fool, he got to kind of be quiet. All right. Like if you walk into a class and they talk about calculus 3, if you only on algebra 1, it's not going to be much to say. Right? You're going to let them do the talking, you're going to do the listen. You know?
It's Proverbs 1 and 20. Wisdom cried without. She uttered her voice in the streets. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates in the city. She uttered her words, saying, how long ye simple ones will you love simplicity, and the scorners delight in the scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Right? That sounds like something the old head would say to you. Right. How long you gonna be simple, man? He might smack you on the head, pull your ear or something. Right. How long you gonna love simplicity? Right? You're gonna scorn that wisdom. Right. So all you get it all at the that was Google before Google came out. The opening of the gates. Right. You go up there and find out about anything.
Talk to the elders, get some knowledge. Right. In the book of Ruth, you read about Boaz, who got all of the elders of the city to witness him buying Elimelech's field and dealing with Ruth. That was done at the gates of the city, man. Right? Absalom sat at the gates of the city in 2 Samuel to hear the cases of the small and great, man. You know? So we back at it.
Deuteronomy 22 and verse 20.
So like in verse 19, the latter end of that, it says, he may not put her away all his days. But back in the ancient times, you could put away your wife for any cause. But if this situation occurred, right, you couldn't put away your wife. All right.
That'd be a horrible household.
Yeah, your household would be confused, man.
If a woman leaves for man, let's say a man puts away with his woman,
right?
She can't be with another man after that.
If a man puts away his woman, yes, she can. Because the only way you can put her away is through fornication. Well, let's get that real quick. Right? The question was, if a man puts away his woman, can another man deal with it? Now, I've heard that there was, I can't remember the brothers, or I've heard this doctrine. I don't know who it came from, really, right? But they say if a man puts away his wife properly, then another man can lie with her. Right? You heard that, brother? All right, so let's see. All right, let's go to, let's see what the Lord said. Let's go to St. Matthew chapter 19 and 9.
It's Matthew chapter 19 and verse 9. And I said to you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except
let's start at 7, Bible Kashan.
Verse 7. They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give writing of divorcement and to put her away?
Right? Because back in the ancient times, in Deuteronomy 24, you can put away your wife if she didn't make the unleavened bread right, man. Right? Now she could say, well, look, I'll get it right next time. You'll say, look, no, right? You out. You know, that's what, off men would do. They was doing that in the ancient times.
He said unto him, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so.
Meaning Adam didn't divorce Eve for going off. Abraham didn't divorce Sarah when she laughed and kind of made up that story that she didn't laugh to the Lord and the angels. Hey, Jacob didn't put away Rachel when she threw a fit in Genesis chapter 30, right? They dealt with their wives and worked it out.
And I said to you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be from fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery, and whoso marrieth her, which is put away, doeth committeth adultery.
So the only reason now that you can put away your wife is she has to commit adultery, right? Adultery meaning she lays down with another man while she's with you. She can be promised to you, or you actually married to her, meaning you laid together. She's dealing with another man. That's adultery. It's not talking about spiritual fornication. Yeah, my wife snuck to church today. That's spiritual fornication. I'm gonna put her away. That's not what it's talking about. It's literal fornication, literal adultery. Right? Literal adultery. All right. Now, if you marry a woman that is put away, that's adultery too. All right. And if I put away my wife and you marry my wife, that's adultery. Right? That causes the land to fall into whoredom. And if you put away your wife, let's go to Jeremiah 3:1, Bible Shah. If you put away your wife for adultery, you can't be like, well, look, hey, look, let's work it out. You can't do that. The land is defiled. We're going to read that.
Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 1. They say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again?
Right, your wife was at the spring break party, man, in the pool and got dealt with by another man, man, or maybe 3 guys, and she came back to Baltimore or wherever you from, and you found out she got her head down, baby, I'm sorry, I was drunk, and you can't be the brother that say, well, we all make mistakes.
We can get through it.
Yeah, we can get through. Let's overcome this.
Right.
That's not what this is about, man. All right.
Shall not the land be greatly polluted?
All right. And what's the land? We know what the land. It's not literal land that's polluted. It's where you plant your seed. You plant your seed in land, right? That's what makes you a husbandman, putting your seed in the land. All right.
But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet returned again to me, saith the Lord.
So Israel dealt with a lot of lovers. The Canaanites, the Moabite gods, the Midianite gods, on a spiritual level. Jeremiah 3 is dealing with spiritual fornication. But even now, if your woman is dealing with another man, look, it's over. There's no second chances with that. All right. And Jake, you got to stop being simple, man. She didn't mean to do that. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe if I would have took out the trash, she did ask. You start thinking about, well, look, if I would have took out the trash when she asked me to, or stop spending so much time at camp, she wouldn't have did that. Oh, brother.
This Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 1. When a man have taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he had found some uncleanness in her, let him write a bill of divorcement and give it to her hand and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband which sent her away may not take her again to be his wife. After that she is defiled, for that is an abomination before the Lord, and thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. Right, so know that Erica Badu, I see you next lifetime spirit.
Yeah, that's
right.
off.
If you cut her off and she go and marry somebody else and they separate, ain't no reconciliation of that. What y'all had is done. Right, move on with your life. And she move on with her life. Right, so no going back to what you had before. No bringing back memories.
Yeah. All right. Just This Sirach chapter 25 and 26, right? Sirach chapter 25 and 26. Yeah, they say don't be Will Smith. You know, she talking about I got an entanglement with August Alsina, man.
Crying on the camera.
Yeah, you know, don't be that guy. Sirach 20.
Salakia, it was another video I seen the other day. A man called his girlfriend, and she was messing around with a dude on the phone.
Oh, you seen that?
Yeah.
And he started crying.
Yeah,
I'm on my way.
And his homeboy was next to him, like, "Oh, you about to cry?"
And
he recording them, man. Right? You know, this is where men have to be men, man. Right? We done all dealt with heartache before in our life. It's a part of being men. Now we at the point where you don't got to deal with that. You don't have to deal with that, man. If the Lord's showing you the type of woman she is, accept it for what it is. Right? Don't try to hold on to something that the Lord is separating. Right? And Salakia, a lot of brothers in the truth had women when they came into the truth and they separated and they're not dealing with them no more. Right? And what the Lord do? He replaced it with somebody better who brought you closer to him. Right? It's that saying, when the Lord closes the door, he opens the window. Right? But this time he opened double doors. Now you got a wife who's after the Most High's heart.
Well, let me find this real quick. You got it.
Let me go back to that verse. Verse 4.
Here.
Her former husband which sent her away may not take her again to be his wife. After that she is defiled. For that is an abomination. Thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for inheritance. So if you were to take her back, that would be considered sin. We know that the wages of sin is death. Right? So if you playing around and you trying to tangle with something you had before, you walking on that thin line of death. Right? So you gotta understand which was of the past has to stay in the past.
Now we want to just get my first and put it up. Right, one day. Now, brothers, y'all can look this up, when we get a chance. Right? But this is the you may hear it. The man, he on the phone, he driving with his brother, right? And he on the phone, he call his woman, but his woman kind of doing something with another man on the phone, and unless see it. Bear with me.
Hello?
He said I'm not going for that. Hurry up.
Hello? Yo, I ain't work. I got service, but I just Yo, somebody there, dog. I'm about to fill up, man. Real talk.
He said that last letter.
Hello? It sounds like you're doing something, but what the fuck, yo? Hey, I'm gonna get in there. I swear to God, somebody in my house, bro. Nah, bro, I hear you bullshit. Hello? No, I don't know where he's going. Fuck that.
See that? So, you know, that's what we dealing with, man. You know, you got men, you know, catching their women, man. Now he got to put her away. He can't go over there and work a deal out with the man and say, well, look, let's work it out. Right? He got to put her away and keep it moving, man. Let me go to the book of Proverbs chapter 6. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 6, man. Right? Proverbs, the 6th chapter, and I'll start at 20. Let's see, Proverbs chapter 6, and I'll start at 24. Right? Well, I'll start at 23. Proverbs chapter 6 and 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life, to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. So wisdom is going to keep you from these women that may be married, and this is the context it's going into, and they're trying to seduce you, right? You got women that do that, man. They'll take their ring off and they'll say, look, I'm not really married, or they'll come up with some excuse, man. Right? Verse 25. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, meaning nothing. And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. They hunt, man. You got adulterers, they'll hunt men's lives too, man. They say women will leave mentally, then they'll leave physically, right? They with you, but now they plotting on another man. Yeah, they scrolling, or they looking, and they say, look, that's the one right there. He gonna be my exit route. Then they might try to find something that y'all got in common. Maybe y'all work together. Maybe y'all both like, Jodeci, and then she might use that as the opening step, the stepping stone. Right? It says verse 27. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can you take fire in your bosom and not be burned, brothers? No, you will be burned, right? It says, can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? So that he goeth into his neighbor's wife. Whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. Men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. Like if a brother come and he might steal an apple, you might be like, well, damn, brother. And the brother was starving though. You're not going to be too mad about that. And he's starving. He may be on his way out. He needed that apple, right? It says, but if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. Who's going to give him his wounds? The husband when he find out. And them stones when he gets stoned, man. Right? It says, for jealousy, I seen this video, man. This man, he went up there, he shot the woman. First, the dude was pulling out his house. One dude went to this other guy's house and drove in there, but he was pulling out the driveway. The other dude was driving and caught him and kind of slammed his car to his car, man. Then the other dude got out his car and shot the dude that was committing adultery with his wife. And this woman was running. He went and shot his woman, man. And there's this movie called City of God, right? It's about these brothers in Brazil, man. And his brother, you seen that movie? Yeah, you see when he caught his woman committing adultery, man. Right? And then he went up there, he went to shoot the dude, and then he hit his wife in the head with a shovel and buried her in the house, man. So, hey, a lot of men don't play around with that, man. It said, and the Lord put a spirit on that man to do that, man. So he could take you out. It's not that man he shouldn't have did. The Lord stirred up his spirit to put his wife to death, man, in ancient times. Right? And the man. It says, a wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. You can't pay that man off. Right? If you catch a brother committing adultery, you can't say, brother, I got $30 for you. The brother say, all right. Ain't that bad.
You want blood.
Yeah, that brother weak, man. If a brother take $30, hey, that brother, you don't need to be around that brother, man. You know, you get that brother a loaf of bread and he like, all right, ain't really that bad. You know, or 2 movie tickets to whatever, man. You know, you gotta, like Amos said, that brother want blood, man. Certain men they kill, don't play around with it. They'll kill, man. You know,
Can't blame him.
yeah. So we back in Deuteronomy chapter 22 and 20.
But if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones, that she die, because she hath wrought folly in Israel to play the whore in her father's house. So shall they put away evil from among you.
What is that saying? That's saying, well, look, if you find out that this woman wasn't a virgin, and it was true, there was no tokens of virginity to be found. They straight up lied. The father had a master plan, said, we're going to get some money out of her, man. Right? You pretend that you're a virgin. You play your role in that bed, right? We're going to get this money. You play your role, and we're going to split it 50-50, right? He's simple. He's not going to understand. He don't know the law, right? And then they may find out that this woman really wasn't a virgin. So guess what? She gets stoned, right? You got to put away that evil, man. You got women that lie about that stuff now. Oh, you know, I've never done this before. You know, this is my first time. I only dealt with 2 guys. It's really 20, 15, you know, 8, 9. And they've done that before. And the Lord said, look, they supposed to be stoned. Right? You know, so these things aren't really being performed nowadays.
At the door of her father's house. Right? So the father got to clean it up, got to get the blood from off his door, bury his daughter.
Right.
Right. That's a tough situation right there.
Yeah, that's horrible, man. That's a bloody house right there, man. You know? So we can go on.
If a man be found lying with the woman married to a husband.
Salakia. Now, verse 22, now we're dealing with different forms of adultery. All right.
If a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, then shall both of them die. Both the man that lieth with the woman and the woman, so shalt thou put away that evil from Israel.
Right. That's straight up adultery. If you get caught laying down with a woman that's married, both y'all get stoned. All right. Here's a precept. Leviticus chapter 20 and 10. Right. Quick precept for adultery. Leviticus chapter 20 and 10. Right. It reads, and the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer, which is the man, and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. So the man and the woman get put to death. All right, straight like that. No forgiveness. Now, I mean, you can repent now, you know, but back in the ancient times, there was no justification with that.
So like that Ronald Isley song,
Yeah.
that contagious spirit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He was about to pull his sword out and kill the dude in the bed.
Yeah, he said,
y'all better leave this place because I'm about to catch a case.
Yeah, he said, what is this? I'm coming home in between the sheets of my home.
Yeah.
He said, baby, I'm about to have a fit. It's about to be some stuff.
Right.
You know, how did I get into this? Then the brother tomorrow, I'm in the closet and I pull out the Beretta, man. He the adulterer and he about to kill the man that's catching him committing adultery.
Keeping on the down low, nobody has to know.
Yeah. The what's that song we be talking about with the woman?
Shirley Murdoch.
Yeah, Shirley Murdoch.
As we slept the night away.
Yeah. So yeah,
in the song, she says, we both belong to someone else. Right? But as we slept the night away.
Yeah. You said me and Mrs. Jones.
Right.
You know that song, that old Me and Mrs. Jones, you know, we got a thing going on.
And these are good songs, like these are catchy songs, but
yeah,
the underlying story of it is awful.
Right. You know, and that backstabbers by the OJs, man. They keep knocking at his woman's door, man. Trying to figure out is he home or not. He said they keep knocking, man. They keep coming. You know, they smiling at his face, but when he go to work, they get off of work, they knock at his woman's door. Yeah, your man told me, that you need help doing this, or you told me to pick this up. You mind handing me this? And they making eye contact. He might say a little joke. He might come back 2 weeks later and say another joke, and kind of build it up. Jake Wicked, man.
When did you become so funny?
Yeah. He started, he become a comedian around your woman all the time, and your woman laughing. And I seen this video. I mean, it was a picture. It was these three friends sitting at a bench. It was the girl. It was his woman and his woman's homegirl. He was sitting down, and his woman was in the middle between his homegirl and him. And behind the bench, he was holding hands. You know, you seen that, brother? Yeah, he was holding hands with his woman best friend, man. You know, and they get off on that, man. A lot of people get off on that adultery thing, man. You know, like it's this, what is the word, the thrill, right? They get a thrill off of it, man. I hope we don't get caught. You know, I don't care about your man, right? If he find out, he find out. I'll beat it. You know. Then a woman, no, don't do that, right? So this is what the things that go on in our people's wicked households, man. You know. So these Leviticus 20 and 10 links directly up with Deuteronomy 22 and 22. All right, this adultery straight up in the Bible.
Verse 23. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed to a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring both of them. Then ye shall bring them both out into the gates of the city. Ye shall stone them with stones that they died. The damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he had humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you.
Now this situation is different. All right, let's read it again. 23, Baba Kasha.
If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed to a husband.
If a damsel that is betrothed, this is a young woman. She's promised. Betrothed is an ancient term for being promised to another man, because they may not have lied together and consummated the marriage. There may not have been a wedding feast for 14 days, like in the book of Tobit, instruments of covenant written out, but she's simply promised to him. That's all it is. But even if a woman is promised to you, that's still your wife according to the Bible. That's why if this man lies down with this woman that's promised to this another man, the Lord said it's still adultery. All right. And Jake, you got these. You may have a fiance, right? And she may say, "I want a bachelorette party," and the man say, "Look, you can do what you want to do. It's only one night." You know what goes on in them bachelorette parties, man? Dude come in and the woman, they are the friends egging her on, going, this is your last time. And all hell breaks loose in them bachelorette parties, man. You know? So that's really adultery right there, right? You can't say, well, it's just one night of fun, you know? So we can go on.
It's like verse 23. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed to a husband, and the man finds her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both unto the gates of the city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they died. The damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he had humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you.
So she has to die because she didn't cry out, meaning she was with it. There are situations where you may lie down with a woman who's promised to another man, but you forced yourself on her, and she cried out. This situation, she didn't cry out, meaning, look, hey, she was with it. Now, she may say, look, he forced himself on me, he raped me, and they're going to say, look, we didn't hear that. We heard it sound like he was kind of getting into this thing, so both of them got it. You take them out, and you stone them with stones, all right? And stoning people is pretty, put a spirit on you, because now you understand, look, hey, this could happen to me. Everybody's sitting there throwing rocks at somebody, and you have to get involved. You have to stone them,
Verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her.
Meaning you find the woman promised to another man, and you rape her, right? This is a woman that's betrothed.
And lie with her.
Right, you have sex with her.
And the man only that lay with her shall die.
Only the man gets put to death. You can't punish the woman that got raped. She had this was against her power, right?
But unto the damsel that shall do nothing, there is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man rises against his neighbor, and a man rises against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is that matter.
Right, same thing. All right, if you murder, or if a man get wounded, in a fight because a man intentionally went to hurt him, you can't punish that man that got hurt. Right, you take down the murder, right?
For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her.
Right.
If a man find a damsel that is a virgin,
so this is a young unmarried woman,
which is not betrothed,
she's not promised to another man,
and lay hold on her,
he kind of lay hold on her,
and lie with her, and they be found.
It was found out that this thing happened.
Then the man that lie with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days.
Right. Hold on. Right. So if a man lay down with a woman and kind of lay hold on her, right, and have sex with her, he can't put her away, and he got to pay the father 50 shekels of silver. Why does he have to pay the father 50 shekels of silver? No, she's not. It says she's not betrothed. I believe that's what it says. Right. He got to pay for it. Right. I can't go and break into Amos. Let's say Amos got a car lot, and I see a Benz in it. I kind of go into the Benz and I start driving it. I break into it and I buy the Benz. Like I take the bolt cutters, I cut the lock, I break the chain, and I drive the Benz. And hey, look, I gotta pay for that, man. Let's say I crash it, right? He gonna say, well, look, you can have it. It's yours now, but you gotta pay for it. I have to be compensated. So if a man went and did that to your daughter, look, you're gonna be mad about it. But he gotta pay for that, man.
You break it, you buy it.
Yeah, that break it, you buy it spirit. Don't walk into that antique store and knock something down and not expect it. The dude, he gotta be compensated for what he lost, man. He may have to replace that item with the value, or buy something better. So you have to pay that father for them for the loss of his daughter. And he can't put her away. Why can't he put her away? Because he forced himself on her, man. Right? So now you in this household where you have a woman that was forced, and she got to deal with you, and you got to deal with her, and now your household is all confusion, man. What you got, brothers?
So that doesn't go for him, which if she cheats, he can't put her away.
If she commits adultery, yeah, he could put her away. But this is a situation where she's not with it. That's why I say he's laid hold on. If she was with it, he wouldn't have to. She's not obligated to stay with him. If she was with, they'll be stoned. That's the situation right there.
Verse 30. A man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt.
Yeah, no land down with your mother, man. Trying to keep it in the family. All right. There was a Greek story, I can't remember the name of it, where you had this son who fell in love with his mother, man. Odelphilus.
Yeah, something like that.
Let me see if I can find that real quick, man. Right? And a lot of brothers, when you go to Genesis about Noah. That's the same situation, Salaki.
What's going on?
He's saying, why you got that on? She said, I was trying to surprise you. I was trying to look sexy for you. Right? So that adultery is something heavy, man. Let me see if I can find that. Oedipus. I believe that's what the brother said. Oedipus. Let's see if that's it. Oedipus or Oedipus complex. Right? It says a complex of emotions aroused in a young child where they desire the parent of the opposite sex and they want to kind of get rid of the father. You want to kill your father and get down with your mother. Right? You can't do that, man. The Lord. Now, these are things that the Egyptians did, that the Canaanites was into, right? So you can't be involved into the ways of the nations, man.
So like it was an R. Kelly documentary that came out not too long ago. It's called Surviving R. Kelly. And one of the interviews, she said, I was in love with my mom. I married her.
Yeah.
She used to drink from her coffee and leave lipstick.
Yeah.
He said he would kiss the lipstick stains.
Yeah.
Because he loved his mother that much.
Yep, he would hold on to it. So R. Kelly, if he don't repent, he's not going to make it either. All of these men that are into these what's the word? These
sadists.
Yeah, sadists. You into beating people up, and you got husbands that they women, they do things to them, huh? And men, they get involved into these things. So you got to put away all of these fantasies and and all of these kinky stuff, Jake, and just deal with things in righteousness, man. Brother, got any questions?
Can a woman put away her man?
Can a woman put away her husband?
I know she can. If like I saw this one woman was saying how her husband was beaten, like I said,
Right.
how one to know what to do, one know what to do. You can't really do nothing out of that. No time.
So, all right, for those watching that didn't hear the question, the brother asks, if a man is physically abusing his woman, can a woman put him away? Or what should the woman do? Right? She was in a congregation where the elder of the congregation said, look, hey, don't get mad at the Lord. You got to deal with it. Pretty much, right? So let's see what the Lord said.
This 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 10. And unto the married, I command you, not I, Slaki, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband.
So, real simple, the Lord said the wife just can't leave the husband. Say, I'm done. Right? You're getting fat, your hairline receding, you know, you're not the man that you used to be. Right? I'm out. I'm dealing with Tony down the street. Here go my number. Right?
But and if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to the husband, and let not the husband put away his wife.
So there may be a situation where she has the liberty to depart. Right? Let's say the let's say that they're not saying eye to eye, look, I'm staying at my mom's house for the weekend. Right? Or it may be a dire case where the husband may be putting his hands on her. She's not going to stay in that house. So the Lord gave her some liberty in that thing, right? But simply because she leaves, that doesn't mean, well, look, I can deal with another man. If a woman departs from her husband, the Lord said the only man she can be with is if that man get his spirit right. If he repent and the Lord work with him, she can be reconciled back to her husband. That's why it said, let not man put asunder. You know, so she has some comfort in that, but she can't deal with another man. The only reason a woman can deal with another man is if her husband dies. Right, let me get that in the book of Romans. Right, let's get that in Romans chapter 7. Right, as long as your husband lives, you're obligated to be with that man. All right, so you got to kind of be careful when you get married. This is not a boyfriend girlfriend thing, man. Or you can break up, or you've been with him for 2 years, and now you know it's not what you thought it would be, and y'all break up or whatever. No, y'all that's it forever, man. You see your great grandparents, they've been married for 35, 40 years, 50 years, man. Hell, Samuel Jackson been with his wife for 40 years, man. You know, and he in that wicked industry. You know, so certain elders, they really wasn't into that divorce thing. You know, so this is the book of I said, what if he's spiritually dead and a sociopath and a narcissist? All right, so this Romans chapter 7 and 2. You got to judge that matter, right? You got to judge that matter. All right.
Like that's why the scriptures say, prove a friend. Don't be hasty to credit somebody.
Yeah.
Take all the time you need.
Because that spirit is going to come out. Right? You're going to see signs of it, and you can't ignore the signs. All right. Romans chapter 7 and 2. For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loosed from the law for her husband. So if the husband dies, now she can say, look, I want to deal with another man. But that man has to be in the truth. Right? And that's in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. It says, only in the Lord. Let me see if I can get that real quick. She can't wait till her husband dies, then go deal with a Negro, man. You know, back in the world. Right? So, here it is. So let me read this real quick. This 1 Corinthians 7 and 39. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord. Right? So again, the woman can only marry a man in the Lord if her husband dies. I mean, he has to be in the truth, keeping the commandments. You know?
Somebody said, what happens if the father rapes the daughter?
Damn. And if the father rapes, that's wicked, man. The father raping the daughter, that's awesome, man.
He would be put to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a commandment.
Right.
You can't live with your daughter.
Right. In the ancient times, he'll get put to death. He can repent for that now, and the Lord can still jack him up. Right. But you know, you can repent, but that's still wicked as hell, man. That purple, color purple. Right. Remember the woman, she would say, look, I don't know what he's doing to me, but I guess he likes it. Right. And he ended up raping his daughter, man. Precious gave birth by her father, man. There was an actual situation I seen on social media. The father raped the daughter, then the father died.
And she said, I'm learning to love my son now. I
Oh.
seen that.
Yeah. Yep. She learning to love her
TikTok.
son. Yep.
Somebody said, can a woman leave her husband if she comes into the truth and finds out he is of the other nation?
Can a husband leave? Can a woman leave? From King Trey. Can a woman leave her husband if she comes into the truth and finds out he's of another nation? Yeah, you got to separate. Right? If he Edomite, you got to get out of that, man. Right? But if he's an Israelite, even if though he's in the world, you still got to work with that. 1 Peter 3:1 tell you about that. All right?
What happens to the daughter?
To what daughter of who?
They got raped in the ancient world.
Well, the daughter, there's nothing punishment. There's no, she's just defiled. In the ancient times, she would have a bad name. We go into children of adultery in Sirach 23, Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter. If you were a child of rape, from your father, you wouldn't really have that great name. And as a brother who was from the same tribe with the same father, and they had a legal, lawful marriage. Right? Let me get this precept real quick to prove that. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and 16. Right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and 16. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. For though they live long, yet shall they be nothing regarded, and their last age shall be without honor. So you can live long and be a child of incest or a child of rape or a child of fornication, but you're not going to have a great name in the nation. You're always going to have that stain attached to you based off what your parents have done. And it's going to, that stain is going to be hard to remove, man. Right? So, got anything else? All right.
Somebody said, what happens if a husband leaves and disappears and you don't know if he's dead or not?
You got to thug it out. Right? When I say thug it out, you can't be presumptuous. Right? You gotta play that thing in wisdom. Right? If you don't know where he's at, you have to have proof. That's what the Lord said. You have to have proof that this man is dead to leave. You can't say, well, look, hey, he been going, I don't know what's going on. That would be a presumptuous action, right? Which could lead to your downfall. So what happens to the wife if she puts away her husband? What does she do at that point? She gotta repent, because if she was put away in righteousness, it has to be for fornication. She got to repent from that act. Stay in the word. Don't lose faith. She may get in contact with sisters, who may help her and build her up, get counsel, and just work from there, man. All right. So that's pretty much it. All right. Well, with that, we're going to close up. We're going to take a quick intermission. And then for those watching, we're about to do another live stream in about 25 minutes, most I will. 20 to 25 minutes. Stay tuned. We're going to end this live stream and begin another live stream. Right? If you're in a Maryland area, Baltimore, come to the harbor. We're going to do the work out there. If you're in Pittsburgh, they're on Pennsylvania Avenue. Cleveland, they're in front of Tower City Center, I believe. So Detroit, brothers at the Riverwalk. Philadelphia, I can't remember where they at in Philadelphia. I'll bring that information out, but go out and get the word. All right. So stay tuned. We're going to do another live stream. Going into another breakdown from Yeshua. Shalom.